Hi everyone, welcome to Chemistry and Society at Rock Valley College. I'm going to be your instructor, Dr. Liz Hanson. For those of you in early, and maybe that didn't realize it, you've signed up for a late start section of this course. There is a full 16-week course that started in January, but you have enrolled and are in the class that starts February 11th. So while I'll try to come in and out and do some things, class doesn't even start till February 11th, so kind of be patient and I'll try and get to things. But if you need me urgently, you can send a message. I'll respond to messages now without a problem. You just won't see me active in the class necessarily until the week of. All right, so sorry, I'm in student view now. I want to introduce you to the class. We're going to go through the syllabus. I'll show you all different things that's going on and how to access things. So this is an entirely online course. You don't come to campus for anything. So that's the good news. Kind of a warning about an online class. You have to be very self-motivated and disciplined to stay on task with the assignments. And what I recommend is students try to log in every single day, or even make a goal of 4 to 5 days a week, maybe every other day, and spend some time in the class. Please don't wait until Sunday or even Sunday night to try and do all the work for the week. Once in a while you'll encounter a technical problem or difficulty and you need support. If you've waited till the last minute, you probably won't get an extension. So, check on things, look in your account, get your account set up, do everything. Start early in the week so that if you encounter a problem, or maybe you don't understand something and you need my assistance, that you have plenty of time to get that help. Now, here's our course homepage. This is what it looks like. It'll stay like this most of the semester. Here at the top are the most recent announcements. And so, again, kind of the reminder here that class started February 11th. I did open it early. What you need to be doing in advance, things like that. And you'll notice once you read an announcement, the little blue dot goes away. So that's kind of your self-check. Hey, have I already read that announcement? Even if you've read it, it still stays there. So that's the good thing in case you need to check again. But always keep an eye on if there's a blue dot, you haven't read my announcement yet. So I'll let you guys read through this. I've got some other things in the modules that I'm going to show you regarding the e-text and the lab kit. But make sure you read those. You can always look at the course calendar as well. I love the course calendar, and if you're taking other classes, you can actually have the calendar show you all your stuff. So I'm in January making this right now. We don't have anything due, but once we hit February, whoops, come on, show me February. It's still showing me. There we go. Once we hit February, again, our class starts the 11th, and then boom, you got tons of stuff due this first week. And again, if you have other classes, you can click, each class will be its own color. And if you've not played with the calendar, assuming your instructor uses it, it's an awesome, awesome tool. So let me go back to our course homepage. The other thing regarding kind of the front page that I want to emphasize, and that is the to-do list. So obviously these are things you need to do. And once you do them, for instance, the student info survey, introductions to the class, things like that, the movie, they'll drop off your to-do list, but they'll stay up there until then. And then there's a couple of calendar reminders, like this doesn't mean you should go withdraw from the class. It's just a reminder that's on the calendar. Last day to withdraw from a class. The reason there's two different dates, this is a full 16-week class, so that was that date's already passed, in fact. And then the last day to withdraw for a refund for our 12-week class is just February 12th. So you only have a couple days, really 2 days, to be in the class and see if this is something that you want to continue in to be able to withdraw and get your money back. So lots of things to do. The other thing I would ask that you do at this point, and pause the video even to do this, is grab your smartphone, grab your tablet, whatever you're on a lot, and download the Canvas app. And in fact, I'll show you kind of just from my browser. Here's what it looks like. You can find it in Google Play, the App Store. You want Canvas Student. It looks like this with a little icon. It's free. The first time you download and open it, it will ask you a series of questions. What's the name of your school? Obviously Rock Valley College. It'll walk you through things and ask you to log in. And that's with your traditional Eagle login. Now, why don't we call it Eagle? Well, Canvas is the name of the program that we run. Eagle is what we have named it at Rock Valley College, simply because that's our mascot, but the program itself is called Canvas. Now, why do I want you to download the app? Well, a lot of the class can actually be done through the app, through your smartphone, through your tablet, but even more important, I want you to get the app and set up notifications. When you set up notifications, that means if I post an announcement, if I send you an email, if I grade something, you'll get a pop-up on your screen that says, hey, Dr. Liz did something in Chem 105, go check it out. And so I want to make sure everybody is getting the information. You're all responsible for all the information presented in the class, shared as an announcement, emails, things like that. So you need to be checking and reading those things closely. So if you don't have the app already, get it. It's great. And again, here's our course homepage. You guys, this is kind of your playground, this course and all the links and things you can get to. Go in, click on things, look around. You can't break it. You can't get in trouble. If it's set up and open for you, it's set up and open for you. So, read through some of these different things. I'm going to show you kind of the highlights right now, but if you ever have questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out. So on our course homepage, if you click on my name, here's my contact information, including my office hours. I'm on campus as well as teaching online, and I have some online office hours on Tuesday mornings. I don't run them necessarily through Eagle, although I have Eagle usually pulled up and answering emails pretty quickly. However, I run them through this program called Zoom. And when you click on the instructions, you'll get, whoops, my apologies, I gotta fix that. But normally you would get the instructions for Zoom. I'll fix that. And it's an online kind of video. You don't have to use a video. You don't even have to use audio. You can just message me if you'd like. But you have many, many options. It's free. Every Tuesday morning I'll be in there and I'll get that fixed before I publish this video. So it'll be there. Otherwise, my mailbox is in the JCSM building in the faculty support office, which is on the first floor, right inside the main doors. You can see my office phone number and my cell phone number. I have texts are welcome, but please note, I don't teach through text messages. If you have questions, if something big happens, if you're working on an exam and it freezes, something like that, absolutely, you're welcome to text me. But please don't just text me general questions about the class or the material. Send me, an email so I can actually give you good detail, things like that. And then a couple of my favorite ways for you to contact me, you can email me directly at my RVC email, or you can go to People and not only see who's in the class, but you can click on me as your teacher and send me a message. And then I'll come through Eagle. So several different options for you. All right, the syllabus is right here. We're going to go through that together in just a second. And then also, I can't emphasize enough, again, this is an online class with a lab. You're getting lab credit for this course, which means you're going to be doing labs, but since it's an online course, you're doing them at home. And so you need to obtain a lab kit. And that means if you do it enough in advance, you can order one, save a little bit of money, or you can walk over to our bookstore, pick one up, and walk out with one. You will need the lab kit the first week. You have some requirements where you have to show that you have the lab kit. So again, depending on your situation, I really recommend you order in advance if you can and save like $80 if you order directly from them, or walk into the bookstore and for those of you that have to use financial aid, that's your only option, I realize as well. But the bookstore has kits in hand, so you can walk out with one in your hands. I have a separate video on lab kit, so I'm not going to go through all that right now, but please make sure you've seen that. And then down here, tech support contacts, we have that hands-on learning lab kit. There's their tech support number and email. Connect, which is our ebook, that smart book where you're doing chapter, I don't like to call them homeworks, but that's most people, students think of them that way, kind of an assignment for each chapter, and exams, online form or phone number, and then Rock Valley College, our Eagle support, phone number and email. So that's on the homepage. A couple other things there you can look at later at your leisure, some RVC student resources, information about our science resource room, which are the hours it's open. It's in the JCSM building. Students hang out in there, they work, there's computers there, there's tutors there off and on. It's a great, great place. If you haven't been there, check it out. And then finally, the PAIC policy. All right, so let's jump into the class. And that is, when you're ready, click on modules and start here. Obviously, that's where we're going to start. There's a welcome message you can read right there. I'm not going to go through it right now. You can read that. Here's a short video and information about that first day program that I messaged or talked about, where again your course materials are included with your course fees unless you opt out. So watch this short little video about this. Here's some information, tutorials. This makes it look like it's very complicated. I'll be honest, guys, it's not. As long as you're opted in, you can just click on the McGraw-Hill Connect and go into our class once you set up your account, and you're good. Let's see, what else do we have here? Lab instructions. That's the video I talked about a little bit ago. You need to watch this. It talks about the lab kit, how to set it up. I'm going to sneeze just a minute. Excuse me. How to create your online account. This is really important. Please make sure that you watch the video. I also have a printout which basically details the same thing. Before you even have your kit in your hands, you can go online, create your account, and actually work through the first 2 required labs. Okay, but I'll leave that for you to watch another time. All right, and then here's a short video. It's actually the same video I have here in the first day program, but how to access that, our smart book, the materials for the chapters, and our exams. That's there. And then we have just one discussion in the class, and that's an introductory discussion, a required discussion, I should say. And so this is where you're going to introduce yourself. I recommend, talk about these things. You don't have to. You can tell us whatever you'd like to tell us. Make sure you have at least 50 words. If you're going to copy paste this, those words don't count, okay? So, just tell us about yourself. That's part of your grade, making a main post to introduce yourself, and then you need to reply to at least 2 of your classmates. And as you can see, Neil jumped in here early. He was all ready to go. Several of you have already been in. Again, I'll get in here shortly and start responding. I'll even share I'll make an introduction about myself in here too. So that's the only required discussion for the class. It's in week 1. We have optional discussions each week where you can post questions if you have them, but this is the only graded one. All right, what else do you have on the start? Here you have a syllabus or intro video quiz. So things from the syllabus, things from this video quiz are here. There's 10 questions. You can take it multiple times, and in fact, I want you to until you know all the right answers. These are course policies, things that are very important for the class. And then there's one question that you put your name and date that you understand and promise to adhere to the course policies. All right, so that's the start here. Once you've done all that, you can close it up. And then here's our first week. What's going on in week 1? There's just a big overview of all the objectives, what you're going to do in summary in terms of, what do you have to, oops, I got to fix that. What you're going to read, what you've got to do. Here are your assignments. Now, again, this looks quite overwhelming. I'll admit that, but you're in a late start class. So we took 16 weeks and condensed it into 12. So week 1, you've got a lot going on. I'll be honest, none of it's all that involved. Just kind of getting the feel of the class, getting your lab online hands-on learning account set up and getting going and figuring that stuff out. That's what's going to take the most time. So week 1's more time consuming, I think, than anything. And I'll fix this. I didn't realize that was off. Sorry about that. All right, then there's some short videos for each chapter. Accessing the Smart Book to do your first 2 chapter assignments are there, or you can always access the course materials clicking this McGraw-Hill Connect button. You've got a movie to watch, National Geographic Human Footprint. I'm going to show you how to do this, although I'm not going to download it. You're going to click once, and then it looks like nothing happens. You have to click this second time. And as of right now, when I'm making the video, this is going to take you to the file, to the video in my Dropbox. So you'll see that. All right, what else do we have going on in week 1? The Dropbox for the movie. So you're going to watch the movie, And then if you click on the drop box, kind of a restatement of what you have to do with the movies, which I'm going to go through again with the syllabus in a second here, but you're going to watch every movie and then you're going to write a one-page summary of the movie. But within that you've got some requirements. It's got to be written in your own words, and one full page of typed text. It needs to be double-spaced, 12-point Times New Roman font. You're going to summarize the movie and talk about how it applies to the class. Why do you think I picked it? How does it relate to chapters 1 and 2? Late movie summaries are accepted, but it's docked 1 point per day they're late. And they're only worth 5 points, guys. So try and stay on top of the movies and the summaries. Keeping in mind that one page minimum does not include the name or your title. I really shouldn't say limit, I guess, but the 1 page minimum does not include your name or title. You don't even have to do a name or title. I'm just looking for some proper grammar and that you're not plagiarizing. And again, 12-point Times New Roman font, when you open up Microsoft Word, that's the default. Okay, other than making it double spaced, you don't have to do anything else. Just type it, and when you're ready, click Submit Assignment. And when you do that, this comes up. Now, if you're using Google Drive, you can just click there and link to your Google Drive, or link to your Office 365, which is right here. Every RVC student has a free Office 365 account, which includes things like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. In this class, we'll just be using Word. But if you'd like to, use this as your Microsoft Word program and then link from there, you sure can. Otherwise, if you have the document on your computer, just click Browse, find the file, and then just click Submit. You should not be submitting more than one file for the movies, and you don't have to include any comments. Just upload it to my Dropbox, and you're good to go. All right, let's leave this, go back to week 1. You've got 2 labs this first week, and one is just a kind of a getting started with the hands-on learning system, and then a Dropbox for that. And then the second lab is a lab safety, which again is pretty basic. You're going to be working in your house. Most students work in their kitchen, and 2 drop boxes. And so again, if you watch my lab video, you'll understand what's going on with this. But let me open up the lab number 1 drop box. Every drop box is specific with instructions. Most of the instructions are the same though for every lab. For every lab, you're going to upload 2 files. Only 2 will be graded. Don't upload 3, and don't upload just 1. You have to have 2. The first file should be the PDF that was provided when you finish the lab online. Again, I showed you that on the lab kit video. That comes from the Hands-On Learning website. Then the second one you have to make, you're going to do a picture. And for this lab, your picture needs to have a sign or a label that has your name, date, and lab name. It can even just be lab number 1. Standing next to or sitting next to the picture of your lab kit's sticker with the kit code. You need that lab kit code to enter to then do any labs beyond the first 2 labs. This is a white sticker. It seems these days that they've been putting it kind of on the side of the box, like over one of the corners. And again, if you have any issues with this, let me know. So 1 picture, it has to have both things. So you can either just write directly on the lab kit box if you want with a marker, as long as I can read it. But then your kit code needs to be visible. So you cannot submit this in the Dropbox until you have both of these ready to go. You're welcome to do the first step and go to the Hands-On Learning and do that first lab, but hang on to the PDF because you cannot upload or it'll be returned with a 0 because you don't have the picture. So you need both of these things, as it details right here. If any of these things are missing, you will not get credit for the lab and it will be returned. You can fix and resubmit, but late penalty points will apply, so just remember that. When you're ready, click Submit Assignment. Again, this is a Dropbox, just like it was for the movie. You're going to browse, find the first file, and then you're going to click Add Another File, browse again. Again, no more than that, ever. It's always and only 2 files for every lab. You don't have to put any comments, and then you can just click simply Submit Assignment. Okay, and then the second lab, again, because we're in a shortened, condensed class, you've got 2 labs this first week. The second one is Lab Safety. Again, Dropbox. 2 files again. The first one is always the PDF from the online lab, and then the second one's always a picture, but the picture requirements vary. This one is, again, a sign with your name, date, and lab. lab name or just lab number 2. This shows me that you're doing the lab during the week that it's assigned, during the semester it's assigned, and then a location of where you plan to complete the lab while working in your home. For example, if you plan to do the labs in your kitchen, have someone take a picture of you holding that sign standing in your kitchen. Or if you want to do a selfie, a lot of you are probably really good with selfies, you're welcome to do that too. I just need to be able to see your sign, you, and then whatever the location is. All right, and when you're ready, again, click Submit Assignment. All right, and then at the end of every module, you will see this student questions, and that's optional. That's a discussion board where if you'd like to post questions about the class, you're welcome to. And then I'll reply to them there, or you can send me emails. The other thing I recommend, see someone's already posted and I replied, is that you click this subscribe button. And that's in case somebody else posts a question, you want to know that it's there. Might want to read it. It might be useful to see their question and my answer. Subscribe, and I'll be honest, I won't get a lot of these this semester, so you won't be inundated with notifications. But it is nice if somebody posts something, again, just in case it might be useful to you. All right, the other parts of our class before we get into the syllabus: grades, obviously that's where you can see your grades. People, that's the list of people that are enrolled in the class, and if you want to contact anybody, you can select them. Again, that's where you can access my email as well, or contact. And then Office 365 is the Microsoft Office program that all RVC students and faculty have. Okay, then the other thing to go through, just like we would in a normal face-to-face class, is the syllabus for our class. So here it is. I'm not going to read through it in its entirety to you. Just going to highlight kind of the key things. Some of this over here I've already shown you in class. Course description. I want to talk about this simply because if you're enrolled in this class, this is a physical science with a lab towards your AA degree. This is not intended for science majors, anyone working on an AS degree. Credit is not counted as your combination for an AS degree with other chemistry classes, things like that. So just make sure you're in the right class. Recommended is recent high school chemistry or our Chem 99. Again, that's just a recommendation. Doesn't mean you can't be successful in the class. I have lots of students that have never taken chemistry that are quite successful in the class. The reminder that this is a 12-week section. The prereqs, which you should have all met if you were able to enroll in the class. This is an online class. You guys can read through all of the course objectives, things like that. Reading supplies, materials, things that are required. Again, access to our ebook and all the Connect material through McGraw-Hill. Again, first day program, you don't need to go out and buy this. If you've opted in, it's part of the class. You don't have to get that. The hands-on lab kit, again, you do need to have. That's the one thing you need to purchase. Scientific calculator. I'll be honest, most smartphones have the scientific calculator function. For my iPhone, I just have to turn it sideways, and it changes a normal basic calculator into a scientific, but you will need one for doing some things in this class. So either your phone and they're cheap. I'm not talking about a $100 graphing. Don't need that at all. Just a very basic $10, $12 scientific calculator from Target or Walmart or Office Max or Depot, whatever. Digital camera, again, you'll be taking pictures with every lab, so you've got to either, just your own phone, or if you've got, a camera, either one. And then there are some additional materials that are needed for the lab that are not included with the kit. I know it's kind of crazy because the kit's quite expensive, and yet it doesn't come with everything. We're going to go through that, or I'm sorry, I went through that with the lab instructions. It's things like aluminum foil, pen or pencil, stuff like that. I don't really have any recommended supplies. Here's the student assessment and grading criteria. Let me talk about these things over here. We take 4 exams, but I only count your top 3 scores, meaning I drop your lowest. Anything with an asterisk means that's how many we're doing, but I'm going to drop your lowest 1 score. And whether that's, maybe you get 100% on every exam, I'm still dropping 1. Okay, so 3 exam scores count. Each exam is 100 points each. Final exam can't be dropped. It's taken with an Eagle. It's worth 100 points, so it's worth a full exam score, but it's comprehensive over all 12 chapters. We perform 13 labs. I count your highest 12 scores. Those chapter Learn Smart, aka homeworks, for each chapter. There's 12 of them because we have 12 chapters. I count your highest 11 scores. Movie summaries we watch, or you're assigned 10. I count your highest 9. The syllabus introductory video quiz is worth 10 points, can't drop that. And that discussion where you introduce yourself and meet your classmates, it's worth 5 points and it can't be dropped. You can see my grading scale. And then here in the red, as far as rounding, I always get students that say, oh, but I'm so close to the next grade, won't you just round me? Well, I might. Here's the rounding policy. If your final grade will be rounded to the next higher grade, if you are within 0.5%. So that's not 0.49, that doesn't round. You have to be exactly at 0.5 or above of the next higher grade. So for example, if you have an 89.5 or a 79.6, then you would be rounded. If that happens, and, so there's 2 qualifiers for this, and you have no zeros in the grade book. That means you didn't miss anything. You didn't not do work where you could have earned some points. No zeros. So keep that in mind as we start the semester. Often there's a couple of students in class that would fall into this category, but if they have any zeros, if they didn't do work where they could have earned points, I'm not going to give you free points. So there's that policy. All right, what can you expect from me? First, I'm here to help you succeed. This means I'm available to you in both our online class and during my scheduled office hours. I respond to student emails within 48 hours. If you were to send me something and didn't get a response within 48 hours, this is a great time to use my cell phone and send me a text message. Say, hey, I sent you something and I haven't had a reply. Once in a while things get lost in cyberspace, or maybe I saw it and thought I replied and I didn't, who knows. But poke me if it's been more than 2 days and you haven't had a reply. I grade everything within 72 hours of the end of the academic week. What's an academic week? Well, our weeks start on Sunday and let me start that again. Our weeks start on Monday and they run through Sunday. So February 11th is a Monday, that's our first day. Week 1 starts February 11th. Week 2 starts February 18th. And you'll see those grades, you'll see those dates as well. When you're in modules, I list the actual dates for the academic week. So this is the first academic week. When I talk about grading, at the latest, I'll grade within 72 hours of the end of the academic week. So that means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Wednesday night, you'll have grades. Okay. If I'm sick, if something's going on, I'll post a message and let everybody know, hey, I'm a little behind, I need a couple more days, but honestly, that rarely happens. I try to stay right on top of grading, and if I can, I'll even grade as you submit things during the week. I won't promise that, though. You're responsible. What do I expect from you? You're responsible for all of the information provided in the syllabus, in our Chem 105 lab details document, anything posted in Eagle, especially our announcements, any communication that I have. You're responsible for that. And then again, here's the academic week. Syllabus and introductory video quiz about the syllabus, our class policies, things that are mentioned in this video quiz. It's due by the end of the first academic week. No late quizzes accepted. It's in Eagle. I showed you a little bit ago where that was. Chapter readings, you're required and expected to read each chapter. You do that again through the SMART book. So you're actually working the kind of problems, working the material as you read. Introductory discussion, I showed you that as well. It's due by the end of the first week. Exams, after every few chapters, there is an exam that covers those chapters. You'll take 4, and I drop your lowest 1 of 4 scores. These are online, they're in Connect. Each exam is 20 multiple choice questions. It's worth 100 points per exam. You get only 1 attempt on the exam and have 2 hours to complete it once it's open. Now, our chapter SMART books, that stays open until the due date, and then it closes. You can come and go and work on the chapter as much as you want during the week. You can even work ahead if you'd like to. No time limit. Again, it just closes when the due date and time is. Sunday at 11:59. The exams, however, once you open them, the timer is ticking. And they are truly, standard exams, multiple choice, like you'd take in a face-to-face class. So be sure once you're, ready to open that exam that you're ready to sit and take the exam. No late exams are accepted. And then the final exam, it's comprehensive, meaning it's over all 12 chapters. It's open book, open note. It's a multiple choice final exam. The college scheduled it, and it's to be completed no later than Thursday, May 16th at 11:59 p.m. It's online and worth 100 points. It's done in Eagle, and I'll remind you of that when we get close. It's not in Connect. Here are those Learn Smart, like I talked about. Again, I don't want to call them homework because it's not a traditional homework, but every chapter has a Learn Smart activity. You go through the Smart book to do it. They're worth 10 points. I drop your lowest 1. Movie summaries I talked about. This is just a restatement of those same requirements. I'll show you in a little bit what the movies are. If you experience any issues with Eagle or Connect, you must contact, or hands-on learning, you must contact the appropriate tech support folks immediately. Only students who can prove they submitted a request for tech support within the due date and time, the end of the academic week, will be given consideration. Again, here's the contacts. They're also on Eagle. I showed you that as well. Here are the class late work policies. Your syllabus quiz, your chapter Learn Smart, your exams are not accepted late. There's no exceptions to this. Again, I drop your lowest 1 Learn Smart and 1 exam. So if you forget to take one or do one, it won't hurt your final grade. Now, it will come into play with the rounding if you need to be or want to be rounded your grade at the end of the semester, so keep that in mind. But otherwise, if you miss something, that'll be the one that gets dropped. Even if you don't miss it, 1 gets dropped. Labs are accepted late, but it's 2 points. They're worth 15. They're 2 points per calendar day they're submitted late. So even if it's Monday at 2 a.m., you're a calendar day late. It was due Sunday at 11:59. So keep that in mind and try and stay on task. Movies are accepted late, but it's 1 point per calendar day. The final exam cannot be completed late. The cutoff is that Thursday, May 16th. Introductory discussion can't be made after week 1. And then the last day for submitting any late work in the class, which would just be labs or movies, is Sunday, May 12th. No exceptions to that. Attendance. Again, this is an online class. You're expected to be in our classroom several times per week. You've got a lot of material and assignments to work on. I do have a quote-unquote attendance policy for labs. You're taking a science with a lab class. If it was a face-to-face, you'd be expected to be in attendance at lab, and so it's expected that you complete the labs for this course. As such, the missing lab policy: if you fail to complete 3 or more labs, your final letter grade will be lowered by 1. If you miss 4 labs, your final letter grade will be lowered by 2, and if you miss 5 or more labs, you fail the course. Again, we only do 13 labs. You need to be doing them. These totals do include your 1-drop score. So when I look at the grade book, if I see 3 zeros in the grade book, that shows all the labs, all 13 labs. If I see 3 zeros, your final letter grade when given to Rock Valley will be 1 letter grade lower than what it's calculating in the Eagle. Again, lab experiments, I've already talked about a little bit. You can read more and see more. Try to keep this video short. Grade disputes. If you have a question or concern about a grade, please don't hesitate to ask me. I just ask that you try to limit that to within the first week after the work has been returned, simply because that's when it's fresh in my mind and I can give you a good answer. I can remember exactly what I did, I hope, and why. Here is our weekly schedule. If you do nothing else in terms of Canvas and the notifications and the calendar, put these due dates and things in your own calendar. For me, I use my iPhone calendar a lot. Set this stuff up. Again, you have to keep yourself on target. So much is not accepted late. You can't get behind. You've got to keep up. Try to do a little bit every day if you can. So this is the week. Starts February 11th. We've got 2 chapters this first week and all of your assignments you've got to do. Okay, and again, you can see some weeks are lower than others. In week 2, you've got an exam and 1 lab. So again, the first week's a little overwhelming. I'll admit that, but it gets a little better after that. All right, so there's our schedule for the whole semester. All that good stuff. The standard, rest of it's pretty standard. College policy on academic honesty. If you have a disability and you need special accommodations, as an online class, it's kind of tricky sometimes to do this, but if you need something, you need to contact me Let me know that you want the accommodations that the Disability Support Service Office has sent me on you. Otherwise, I will assume you're good. So if you already have a disability on file with our great DSS office, let me know that you want to work with me and get those accommodations. We'll talk about what's reasonable and what we can do. And if you're not registered with the office but you have a disability, please contact them, and they're great folks. They'll work to get your disability documented with the college. The college also has an early alert system, which I'm just basically going to tell you that if you're falling behind, if you're absent a lot, if I'm concerned about you, I'm going to submit your information to early alert. Doesn't affect your academic record. It's just simply to let the college know I have concerns, and hopefully to try and get you some resources and get you back on track. Electronic device, well, this is an online class and you've got to have an electronic device. How about that? Withdrawal policy, I will not administratively withdraw students at midterm. If you're not participating, you will simply earn an F. You can withdraw yourself, otherwise you're going to stay in the class and just get the 0 grades. So if you're taking this class and you find yourself overwhelmed or not able to keep up or not passing, please don't just disappear. Please withdraw yourself. A W definitely looks better than an F on your transcripts. Okay, and you can always withdraw yourself until the April 12th deadline. And then finally, disclaimer, certain circumstances may require some changes to this syllabus. Any changes will be announced in Eagle. I don't usually anticipate that with an online class. We don't have snow days here, but just in case. Anyway, so you guys have lots to do this first week. Again, please try to keep your head up. Take deep breaths. Once you get through the first week and you got things figured out and you get all this work done, it gets a lot easier, I promise. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in week 2.